Hello everyone and welcome back to my F1 2020 career mode for the round in Hungary today. The Formula 2 round, as you can see, bouncing over the curbs there. That is a moment from later in the day. But yeah, we'll see what we can do in qualifying. We currently have the championship lead of the Formula 2 season, so hopefully we can maintain that today. We are, I think, 14 points ahead of Correa in second and 27 ahead of Matsushita in third. And you have to say Matsushita has been the bigger threat recently, so hopefully we are able to beat him today. That is the goal, but we'll see what we can do. But DRS along the second mini straight as we head towards turn 2, and we'll see if we can qualify near the front. Bit of a wide line there, and probably not optimizing that section of track, but I have to say Hungary has never been a good track for me, but this time around I'm not feeling too bad about it, so maybe I'm slowly getting used to this circuit, but overtaking is still going to be difficult, so this qualifying will be absolutely crucial for us. So as we get the DRS to the line on our first flying lap, we do go fastest.
That was the fastest lap.
And that is exactly what we need, but we actually go again and to see if we can improve on our original lap time. As you can see, we are green, so it's red's first sector, so we lost some time there, but the second sector is green and we are still improving on our original lap. DRS to the line, and we make an improvement to qualify in P5. P2 took a moment to update there. Maybe someone was finishing a lap behind, but
so qualifying is complete and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top three are King, the Scientist, and Nobuharu Matsushita. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the feature race tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
So yeah, great qualifying for us. We're ahead of our two main rivals in the championship, so it's all smiles for the time being. Jordan King isn't really a championship rival. He's down a little bit in the title of P6, so he actually improves to P6 ahead of Aiken with the 4 points for pole there. So he's actually having a fairly solid season, and it also has to be said Lacey is having a storming season so far, given the pace that he showed in real life. So his AI counterpart doing wonders. Same can be said for Boccalacci. But anyway, let's get into the race and see what we can do.
It's time for this weekend's Formula 2 race here at the Hungaroring. A popular track with a lot of history. I'm sure we're in for an absolute thrill ride of a race today. "14 corners here at the Hungaroring, 6 lefts and 8 rights. And in these conditions, there are a few places where it's going to be very easy for the drivers to run wide. Accidents are not uncommon here, so keep an eye out for the safety car at some point during the race. Thank you for bearing with me in that fight. I'm joined by a man who's had many a wet race, Davide Valsecchi. Just how challenging will these conditions be out there on track?
Delighted to be here, Alex. Even in this weather, nothing will be easy for them. We may have standing water, which means visibility will be a worry. They just need to stay clear of the white lines and curbs. That can cause you a real problem when it's so slippery.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's results with a look at the starting grid. Jordan King lines up on pole position, and the Scientist completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Matsushita, Correa, Antoine Hubert, and Giotto, Boccalacci, Joe, Schumacher, Giuliano Alesi, Aitken, Calderon, Sergio Sette Camara, and Latifi, De Vries, Eilot, Mazepin, and Ralph Boschart, Raghunathan, and Louis Delatraz starts from the back of the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Alright, we'll try our best to do that, but you can see rain for the majority of the race, clearing up in the last couple of indicators there. So maybe around halfway through the race we will switch to the dries. But anyway, 5 red lights, and away we go for the feature race here in Hungary. And it's an even start, but a good second phase for Jordan King. And he is already getting away from us. Matsushita gets through as well, and Hubert is now around our outside. We're not going to fight him off either, and we're down into P4 by the time we get to the apex of the first corner. So it's been a pretty poor start for us, just too much wheel spin and not enough forward momentum off of the grid, and we're down into 4th position for the time being, but we're still ahead of Korea, our main championship rival, so that is one thing working for us. But yeah, it's not the start we needed, but to be fair, I think that's not too bad, considering I have no idea what my pace is going to be like in the rain. But from these first few corners, I can already tell that it's not going to be particularly great. But we're actually gaining a little bit there on Hubert, but immediately lose it again as we go for a slide on the exit of turn 5. So I think this initial phase of the race will just be about trying to stay as close as we can to the cars in front, and just trying to not get too distracted by the water spray, which is quite horrendous when you get close to another car.
Let's focus now for the rest of the race.
And also try not to lose too many positions while we seem to be lacking a bit of pace, especially through that middle sector as we lose the back end again, and that gives Correa the opportunity to get through down the inside, and he makes a move into the 3rd sector as we just about avoid contact with him under brakes there, and Correa is up into 4th position. We are down into 5th. We move on now to lap 4 of the race, the start of lap 4 into the braking zone of turn 1. You can see the leaders have cleared off as we make our way and have a big slide on the exit, and that's going to give an opportunity to Dorian Boccolacci behind, and he immediately takes that opportunity down the inside into turn 2. We're very deep under brakes there, and that's going to give an opportunity to even more cars behind us as now Luca Giotto finds his way through, and Mick Schumacher is right behind us as well as we run wide through turn 3, and Schumacher is through as well, and that puts us down into 8th position, and we have lost a lot of time as we continue on in this race. So yeah, it's just not going our way at this point in the race. Lap 11 now, and we are just struggling so much to run at any kind of pace compared to the cars around us, and we are severely holding up Jack Aitken, and it's only a matter of time before a mistake allows him to get through and finally get some clean air, because I'm sure he is very frustrated at this point in time. So here we go through turn 4, just about making the corner there, but yeah, you can just tell that we're just lacking a bit of turn, and it's just not helping us as we get a little bit on the grass on the entry to the chicane, and hopefully that doesn't compromise us too much as we can't quite turn the way we'd like to off the track, and Aitken gets through and up into 8th place and onto reverse grid pole. We're down into 9th, and that is the end of that battle with Jack Aitken. The next car behind us is a Lacey, so maybe we might be able to get away from him, but at this point it really doesn't seem too likely with the pace or lack thereof that we are showing at this point. So yeah, it's really frustrating. I'm driving as hard and as fast as I can, but I think the front tires must be overheating or something like that, because we just have no pace at all compared to the other cars around us, and we're just losing time every single corner.
Be careful, we think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now.
Alright, that is also not going to help us as the tyres wear out. More radio.
The radar's showing a clear patch on its way. There's about 10 more minutes of this rain.
10 minutes of rain left. That is exactly what I want to hear, because I am not a fan of these conditions at the moment. They are not helping me at all. So as we move on, you can see Latifi is going down our inside into the 3rd sector. Bit of contact, but Latifi not able to make the move as he has to recover from a bit of a slide there and stay ahead of the Trident as the queue backs up there. But we move on now to lap 17 of the race, and it is time for us to come in and finally get rid of these horrible wet tyres. You might see briefly at the bottom as we flick through the menus in a moment. The tyres are at 100 degrees at the front, So it's well and truly time for the dries, as we have to stack with our teammate, but they're not servicing his car. What's going on here? Has Schumacher stalled or something in the pit box? I am not entirely sure, but there is no crew members around, and no tyre changes happening. He's just in the box waiting, and even after he takes off, we're not going in. So I am not really sure what's going on here, but some kind of glitch in the pit stops, and yeah, not really sure what happened there. I tried to use a flashback,
MFD for a new strategy option.
and Schumacher was there, and then he disappeared, so not sure what that's about either, but something weird happening here, and I would say it ruined our race, but we actually had a mid-session save that we could go from, so yeah, we were able to reload from that. We're back to lap 9 and back up into position 8, so we're back ahead of Jack Aitken, so it helps us a little bit in that way, but we do have to do that quarter of the race approximately once again, so a little bit frustrating, but thankfully I did have that mid-session save to go from, because I did actually record this race over 2 separate days. So yeah, anyway, into the pits we go for our pit stop. Actually a lap earlier this time, which is a little bit interesting. I didn't notice that at the time, but anyway, that is the strategy that Jeff gave us, and thankfully this time we're not double stacking with our teammates. So into the box we go, and we're actually a lot closer behind Schumacher than we were on the previous attempt, I suppose you could say. But 6.4 second stop, not fantastic, not terrible, but we get underway once again, and now as we are struggling to come around the final corner, as the tyres are getting into their working range by about now, and you can see 2 purple sectors, so we are absolutely flying compared to the rest of the field. And there is Schumacher. We have gained significantly with the undercut there, so let's see if we can take the advantage while we've got better tyres. His tyres will be cold, and in these slightly greasy conditions they will not be gripping to the track very well. We had to sit through that on our outlap. Now it's his turn, while we have tyres that are up to racing temperature. So here we go on the run up to turn 4. We'll try to get as close as we can through turn 4 and 5, and maybe make an overtake into the chicane. But through turn 4 we get a good run through there. We're right on his gearbox. We actually have to try an alternative line through turn 5, almost get up along on the outside, but no opportunity there, so switch to the inside, dive down the inside into the chicane, and we get the move done on Mick Schumacher. A little bit of contact made, but I think that move was on, as we had the tyre grip advantage, and we were well clear of the front of his car by the time we got to the apex. So call that how you want, but I think that move was on. Aggressive as it was, but we had to get a move on so we could get on to catching these 2 in front of us. Luca Giotto and Juan Manuel Correa are the next 2 up the road. Took us a bit to catch up to them, but now we'll try to make an overtake on the Italian and the American. So here we go through turn 4, gaining a lot of time through there, and can we have a little look around the outside of Luca Giotto as we head through turn 5. We almost pull alongside, but we can't quite get the traction down on the exit curve there, and as we're braking in the grass a little bit, we lose that tiny bit of time. But as we move on now to the main straight, we've got the DRS and the slipstream from Luca Giotto. We're going to go for the dive down the inside into turn 1, and we get the move done on Luca Giotto. Missed the apex a bit, but
You made it look easy.
we are now up into P6 in this race. Another position ahead of us is Correa, and he is our championship rival, so getting past him is very important to try and extend our advantage with Matsushita up on the podium positions at the moment. So this could be an important race for the championship. So let's see if we can get past Correa as well. We're right behind him as we head through the last corner, and we're going to get a nice exit onto the straight. DRS, and I don't even know if we'll need it with a slipstream as well.
Some time to the car behind.
And we make the move to the inside and head towards the first corner, and we get past Correa nice and easy, and move ourselves up into the top 5. The next car up the road is Dorian Boccolacci. He's away ahead, but we'll do our best to try and catch up to the Frenchman. But we'll see if that is at all doable. We've got a few laps left to do it.
Safety car deployed.
Safety car.
The safety car has been deployed.
And that is for Tatiana Calderon, who is out of the race, and she retires from the feature race here in Hungary with a mechanical failure. So unfortunate for her. So we all queue up under the safety car. This gives us a great opportunity to attack the cars in front once we go green once again. So let's see if we can do it.
Okay, let's get ready to go racing again. The safety car is in this lap. When the field accelerates, remember, there is no overtaking until the green flags.
Alright, so as we almost slam into the back of Boccolaci, just making sure that we didn't, because you can get penalised for that, but it looks like we just managed to avoid contact. We'll need a good restart here. We've only got a couple of laps to try and make the moves ahead of us, but this gives us a great opportunity with our tyres relatively well warmed up for this restart. So here we go around the final corner, taking a little bit of a wide line, try and get a narrow and fast exit off of the corner, and we've got a good restart on Boccolaci, and we may have some momentum, but the race is over.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
What? The race has ended a few laps early, and I think that is because we've hit the time limit. Raghunathan is the driver of the day.
And that brings to an end another great race. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
It was all about being in the right place at the right time. If the safety car hadn't come out and bunched everybody up, I think we could have been looking at a very different result today.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the MP Motorsport team, and I'm very happy to see them up there on the top step of the podium.
So it's a bit of a weird result there, but Jordan King takes the race win. Matsushita up in second position, getting his championship fight well and truly underway, and Hubert rounds out the podium.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. The Scientist increases their championship lead. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
My driver of the day was Nicolas Latifi. He did a cracking job of moving through the field, just showing why he's so highly rated.
And now a look at the team standings. Prema extend their lead at the top of the championship. Meanwhile, good work from Campos this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order.
The official driver of the day also did a fantastic job, but I have to vote with my heart, and today I have to go in a different direction.
After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
So, bit of a weird one. Yeah, not sure what to make of that, but apparently the race decided to end a little bit early. But anyway, I guess we just have to try harder in the feature race. We put the difficulty up a little for the sprint racing, as it's going to be all dry, and we'll see what we can do in that one. So let's get into it.
And we're back. After yesterday's feature race, the top 8 drivers have been reversed on the grid, setting up some exciting action as we launch into today's event, the sprint race. Alongside me today, I'm delighted to welcome back to the commentary box the 2012 GP2 champion, Davide Valsecchi. There looks to be a challenging race ahead of the drivers today, Davide. With that in mind, what are you looking out for today?
Well, Alex, I want to see how the drivers at the back of the grid are going to roll down. They'll need to make an impact in the early stages, and they're probably hoping for a bit of luck at the start. We may see some bold maneuvers out there today.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Alright, we will try to. It is Alessio on reverse grid pole, then it is Giotto Correa, then myself as we go to 5 red lights. lights are out. We are underway very quickly in the sprint race in Hungary. A lot of wheel spin, but a good start for Giotto as we have to try to hold off Hubert, who is around our outside into the first corner, but I think we might just be able to do it, as I think there's a bit of a lock up there from one of the cars at the front. I think it was a Lacey, but we hold off Hubert just about there through turn 1, and we can try to challenge Correa as we go around the outside through turn 2. No move to be made there though, and we just have to stay in line, but a great run there through turn 3, so we have better tyre condition clearly than Correa. Down the inside we go, and that's a little bit of a corner cut, but we do make the move on Correa for the time being. So a great start there for us, and we'll see if we can challenge the cars ahead as we continue on through this race. So already gaining a spot in this one, so the polar opposite of the start we had last time, and now we can probably, given Lacey is in front of us, definitely overtake him. I'm not sure about Giotto. He will probably have very good pace in this race, I would assume, so he may be very, very quick, especially now that I have turned the difficulty up. But Lacey, I think we can pass him, but to be fair, he has kept up with Giotto through this opening lap, so maybe they will both be very quick. We're not really staying with them. That said, I did lose some time in the overtake with Correa, and you can see I'm clearly not driving at my best at this point, and Correa is still right behind us, so we may actually be close enough to make a move here in the slipstream, but there was nothing really there as we close up to the leaders eventually on lap 4 of this race. And yeah, we are starting to put pressure on these two. So it did take a while, but we are now in the fight for the lead as we go very wide through turn 2, and just struggling to follow these two with a little bit of dirty air and slight lapse of concentration perhaps. But through turn 4, a nice run through there. And now can we get the run on the outside through turn 5? We've been threatening to do this a few times in the feature race, but no move to be made there. So now through the chicane, can we get a run on a Lacey? No, no opportunity there. So for now we just need to wait for the DRS, I think. But Lacey, with that DRS from Giotto, has managed to stay with him. So it will be very tricky, I think, to overtake him in our usual place if he has DRS as well. So I have to hope that Giotto can just put his foot down a bit and get away from a Lacey, or we could be in for a bit of a DRS train kind of afternoon here. But we'll see. We're very close to a Lacey through the penultimate corner. Now through the final corner, we're going to try and get as close as we can to the gearbox of that Trident, and out of the final corner, DRS open in the slipstream of a Lacey. A Lacey has the DRS as well from Giotto. He's not close enough to make a move, but we just might be if we're very late on the brake. So here we go down the inside of a Lacey. We just about get alongside enough into the corner to sweep through. And I was worried he'd get the switchback there, but instead he just jumped on the brakes and decided to hold on to P3. But yeah, he very well could have just run a little bit wider there and cut back in for a switchback, but he decided to relent the position as we go down the inside of Giotto into turn 4, but don't quite make the corner, and we give that spot back to him as not to get an illegal overtake there. But yeah, that was a very close one. Now we go to the outside of turn 4 and around the outside of Luca Giotto, and that is a really satisfying move to make. Run a little bit wide through turn 5, but we maintain the position ahead of Giotto. Here's the replay. A little bit of grass on the entry to the corner, and we sweep around and take the position through a flat out corner normally, or not flat out, but very, very quick. So that is a very satisfying move. Props to Giotto for leaving us some space there on the outside as we came out of nowhere there, getting a good run out of turn 3. But yeah, that is a really satisfying move. But now Giotto is coming back at us as we head into the first corner, and He is really right behind us as we run a little bit wide, and now he's got a good run on the exit on the right hand side, and he's through as we had a little bit of trouble with the power on the curb, and Giotto retakes the lead of this race as we continue to battle away.
Okay, we've lost a position. That's us down a place.
Now on the 16th lap of 26, so 10 to go, but as we move on to the final couple of corners on lap 17, Giotto pits, and I briefly thought about following him in there, but there was no real advantage to that. But yeah, a few people have pit actually, and Alesi in as well as Correa and Matsushita as well, all going into the pits, and that is going to leave Nick de Vries, who has had an awful season so far, to move up into second place. So yeah, this is the new running order. De Vries in second, then Schumacher.
You're leading the pack. P1, De Vries is behind you. The gap is less than a second. They're on old mediums. Your pit window is open. Pit window is open. 4 laps remaining. Virtual safety car deployed. Slow down and maintain a positive delta.
VSC is out because Nicholas Latifi is retiring with a mechanical failure. So another bad day for him, unfortunately. But here finally is Luca Giotto on the back of Nikita Mazepin, the last of the cars that didn't make a pit stop, and Giotto not able to make the move on that occasion.
Off the cliff soon. Take extreme care.
As our tyres are at the end of their lifespan. We're over 70% on the front left, and I think that means we are within puncture territory, or if not, we will be very, very close to it by the end of the race. So we really have to nurse that front left tyre, as Nick de Vries is also right behind us. Here comes Giotto on Mazepin to see if he can get some points in this race, but not able to on this occasion, so he is running out of time. So on the final lap, it looks like he won't be able to make that move, and if nothing goes wrong with our front left tyre, we'll be able to take home the victory, and Giotto will have to settle for, I think, 8th place he is in at the moment. Mazepin, I think, is 7th, so a good defence from him to try to fend off Giotto on much faster and much newer tyres, but yeah, we'll see if he can hold off for the rest of this lap. It's all fairly single line corners, so I don't imagine Giotto will have many opportunities, but for us, we've managed to control this race, even with our front left tyre in horrible condition at this point. I'm just praying it doesn't have any issues. Now we are definitely in puncture territory, 75% on the front left, so we're just being very careful to try and just nurse this tyre to the end of the race. But we've only got one more right-hander to go, and that will be it. So I think we've got it booked in now. As we come around the final corner, we are going to accelerate and take the win here in Hungary in the sprint race.
You worked hard for that one. Congratulations.
P1. Guan Yu Zhou, driver of the day.
Great effort there from Prema to take the victory today. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
I think this race was won thanks to the tyre management. You have to remember, it's not just about going as fast as you can. It's about consistency. It's about maintaining your speed over an entire race distance. So being able to keep the lap time competitive while still respecting the tyres, that's where they won today.
It looks like it's time for the victory ceremony once again, as I can see the drivers beginning to make their way out for the celebrations. You can see it on their faces. It's another marvellous team win for Prema today.
So there you have it. We managed to take the win here. Nick de Vries gets P2. That might be his first, or one of his first podiums for the season. So a good result for him. Mick Schumacher makes it a double podium for Prema.
After this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the driver's tape. The scientist increases their championship lead. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
Look at Guangzhou. It was fantastic all race long, and he showed me a great talent and fantastic quality. It's for that he's my driver of the day.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Teams Championship. Prema extend their lead at the top of the championship. Another team that will be satisfied with this race is Charus, whose good result moves them further up in the championship. After all this drama, you'll be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Alright, so the end of another round. Fairly successful one for us. Probably could have got a bit more out of the feature race. Obviously winning the sprint race is all you could ask for there, but yeah, we had no pace in the wet, and that really cost us any chance in the feature race. But good to see that if a race does happen to run too long, there is the code in the game to cut it short as they would in real life, and make it a time certain finish. So I think that's a nice little touch that the race did end early and end under safety car, which is also interesting. But yeah, really cool that that was able to happen. After doing the commentary over that first race, I did go back and have a closer look at the total race time, and it was that one lap extra over 60 minutes. So yeah, that is accurate to how it would have played out in real life. So yeah, that is a really cool touch, I think, that I wasn't really expecting. I assumed the race would just run to the end. I wasn't even thinking that it could end early, but spending so much time in the rain at the start, and then the safety car coming out, slowing the field down, really made that one quite a long race as far as F2 is concerned. So yeah, I thought that was quite cool. And yeah, the sprint race, not really too much to talk about there. The AI, some of them decided to make a pit stop, and in total race time, it may have worked out for them. Giotto was very, very quick, and I was paying attention closely to how quickly he was catching Mazepin, but once he got to him, he just couldn't make the move, and that really cost him. In the end, he could have potentially won the race. Remember, he re-overtook me, so we're having a good battle until he made his pit stop, and then he threw it away, not being able to overtake anyone. So yeah, very interesting at the end there. But anyway, other than that, I will say thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time for the race in Belgium. And that round, I can promise, will be a very good one. See you then. Goodbye.